Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday racing preview. Of course, in this video looking at the meeting at Doomben on the weekend. So great racing once again on Saturday up in Queensland. So of course we're in the middle of the Queensland Carnival right now. So really looking forward to this weekend once again. We've of course got the Tab Fred Best Classic Group 3 for the 3-year-olds, and also the Forex Droid Chairman's Handicap, which is a Group 3 over the 2,000 metres to look forward to. So they're the two main feature races, while the Channel 7 Hinkler Handicap, which is a listed race over 1,100 metres to look forward to. So we're going to get straight into that meeting, starting tomorrow at 11:15, so nice early start up there in Doomben. So make sure you're ready to go first thing in the morning to get on the punt and find plenty of winners tomorrow. So look at the speed map for the first race, 1,050 metre race, and I'd say Lamante would probably find the top from barrier number 3. New Alliance, Jim Bitters will probably be up towards the pace. Supersonic Boom from an outside barrier, Flying Eddie and Deep State will probably be the other ones that will be looking to carve across from outside barriers. So looks to be a bit of tempo, but could probably be expected from a 1,050 metre start. Now, look, I'm pretty keen on number 8, Vincero Falare here for Keith Fogden and Andrew Mallion in the saddle. I think it's got a nice chance here. You look back at last preparation, I was in some really nice form races. You're looking first up last prep at Flemington up the straight, with finished behind Way Up in the Sky. Then finished 8th, 4 lengths off Loving Gabby, obviously a Group 1 winner, so that's a pretty nice form. Look, obviously, Vincero Valare came down here to Victoria. Didn't really fire, so there's nothing too flash or impressive, but you got to argue that that was the right sort of form, and to bring into a race like this could be quite a race, a very winnable race here. So it's had a bit of a spell, comes into it first up. I think the wide barrier is the only concern for me. If Andrew Mallion's allowed to sit in behind the speed, there looks to be a lot of speed drawn inside of him, so he can perhaps use that to drift, to sort of drag himself into the race, find himself in a prominent role, but with a bit of cover. So I'm hoping that's what can eventuate. I think $5 and $1.90 the place is a really nice price. So I'm going to have it on top ahead of number 3, Kanunga, who's also first up for Matt Smith. No rider indicated at the moment, but the 2 trials leading have been quite nice, especially the most recent one at Warwick Farm over the 800 metres. Really impressed with that performance there. Comes to this first up as a good, decent, fresh record, 3 starts for a win and a placing. I think it looks to be drawn to get a really nice run from barrier number 4 as well. It has to carry a little bit of weight, but I don't think there'll be too much concern with this horse. He's got a good chance. That's my second pick at $4.80. Number 10, Gin and Bitters, comes in for third. Of the on-speed runners, I think this is the one that's going to be sticking on the best. It's been in some decent form so far. Prior to last start, where it finished 5th at the Sunshine Coast, it won quite well there. I was impressed with that performance, just betting Iron Venus there on that occasion. I think perhaps it is probably fair price, but I think there's, like I said, the 2 that I mentioned before I rate as a bit higher than Gin and Bitters, but do can see it's got a good chance there in for third. And then in for fourth, I've got number 7, Supersonic Boom. I thought it was just a little bit over the odds here. Finished second at Gatton last night, which don't look like the best type of form to bring into a race list, but is a horse that gets better the deeper into its prep it goes. And you look back last preparation, did run in a couple of decent enough races that would be competitive enough into a race like this. So I could see it running a placing at the $19, but I'll have it as my 4th pick. But recap the numbers for me. I'm very keen on number 8, Vincero Valare, on top, ahead of number 3, Kanunga, in for second. In for third, number 10, Gin and Bitters, and in for fourth, got number 7, Supersonic Boom. Moving on to race number 2 on the program now. It's a 600 metre benchmark 90 Ascot Green Handicap. Look at the speed map here. Just the 9 runners to take battle in this race. Marnias off the inside barrier, I think, will be up and prominent towards speed. Top prospect, I think Langro will probably find the top, and Aquavit might be up contesting, but I think it'll be Langro and probably Marnias off barrier number 2. They'll probably be the 2 speed horses, with Top Prospect and Aquavit sitting just in behind them, I would presume. Look, for me, pretty nice race this one, and quite a tough one once again. It is a pretty tough program at Doomben on the weekend, I believe. But look, I think Top Prospect can win this. It was a nice 4th last night behind Grand Piano. Really made some good ground there, and I think that's some good form. Grand Piano goes around later in the program as well in the market, been in terrific form. So there's been a stack of winners that come out of Grand Piano's form races. So I think that this could be another one of them. This horse now comes into its 5th race start, this preparation, rock hard fit now. I just think that from that barrier, with not a lot of speed on the race, it could probably get a perfect track. Either it's going to be sitting just one out of the lead, or be sitting with a bit of cover. And I think maybe it might be able to sit that one out, one back. And I'm hoping that that'll be the spot. And if it is the case, I think it'll be quite hard to beat, or even in the box seat. So I'm going to have it on top ahead of number 8 Star Michelin, who's going to be back in the field and will have a bit to do from back there. Is a horse that has been in some probably stronger form line race than some of these. And look, obviously, last time 5th behind the Sinner at Sunshine Coast was an impressive run. 3 starts back beat D-Day Diva, who's come out and run a good placing. I think it was last week, or it was last week. So that was obviously that form's not too bad. And then 4th to Ballistic Boy, who of course came out around second in a group race last week. So very good form around Star and Michelin. I think that's why it is the favourite. I just think that with the tempo on the race, might go against it. It's going to need a lot of work to come from the back. But hopefully for the backers of Star Michelin, like I said, has the right form. So if you can back it, I wouldn't put you against it. But I just think that with the tempo that I can see on the speed map, don't think there's going to be enough for it to come into the race in comparison to Top Prospect. But got in for second. In for third, number 4 Langro, who comes to this now off the back of the third last start at Doomben here behind Red Chase. Red Chase come out once since, so form's good around that. And 4th to Sunshine Coast behind Silvera. I think that's the right form as well. The 2 starts back. So Langero's, he's been in some nice form leading into a race like this, and I think he'll run well enough, especially if it's be able to get on speed and be able to dictate the terms like the speed map suggests that it might do. So I've got it in for third, sorry. And then in for 4th, number 1, Sir Barnabas, who I think, again, we'll be back in the field, and we'll have to be, try not to get too far back to come into the race, like so off the back of what I don't see as extremely strong tempo. But look, the win 2 starts back first up, fresh, beating Milkman was very impressive. Then last started, came from a long way back and had a lot to do in that Victory 8 race at Sunshine Coast. It was a real bunch finish on that occasion. So, usually when you see those bunch finishes, the form's not too bad to come out of the race. And I think that this horse third up now will improve quite sharply, so it could run a good race as well. But so look, very open race. I'm very keen on number 2 though. Top Prospect on top for me, ahead of number 8 Star Michelin for second. In for third, number 4 Langro, and for 4th, number 1 Sir Barnabas. Moving on to race number 3 on the program now. It's a 1200 metre tab class 6 handicap. Looking at the speed map for this race, fair bit of pace on this. Probably expect for a 1200 metre race, but I'd say I've got a Nell will be up towards the pace. Dazzling Red will be up there. Perfect Game, the tenor, usually likes to get towards the front. Oriental Runner, I'd suggest might sit in behind them, but again, it's another speed factor in the race. So quite a few of these like to be up towards the pace, and I think it'll set up nicely for this horse number 1, Right or Wrong. Very keen on his chances in race number 3. I thought first up was a 5th behind Soxagon. Never really came into the race there. I wanted to forgive that run because it's not the best first up horse, but this also gets much better second up. So 3 starts for 2 wins and a placing. Last start, and if you have a look at last preparation, this horse last time second up finished second to Trekking, who, as we know, finished third in Everest and is a Group 1 performer. So obviously winning the Stradbroke, the Goodwood just recently. So that's really good form. I mean, you think of that coming to a race like this, and that was off the back of a 914-day spell that it finished that second up. This is obviously prior to this preparation, it was coming off a 574-day spell. So it's a horse that had plenty of issues, but the fact that it was able to come off that extremely long spell, nearly 3 years in fact, off the scene, and then was able to run second up to Trekking, comes in this now second up into a race like this. Definitely well over the odds for me. It's going to be one of my best value. It's probably my best value bet of the program. Could even be one of my best bets. I'm very confident in its chances. So I've got it on top. Bet of number 3, I've got a Nell. I thought it was a nice win last week, and at the Gold Coast, it did go around at big odds, but I did think it was a bit of a chance, and proved to be the case. Like I said, if we get that, at the moment the track's a soft 5, but the weather's quite fine up there, so I suggest we get a good track. Last week was a heavy, so did work in the favour of I've Got a Nell. Is definitely a wet tracker, so a bit of a wait and see on I've Got a Nell. See if we get that wet track to push its chances further. The tenor race in number 9, I think, has got a nice chance here as well. I thought that form first up was quite good out of the race, and it has proven so. Stylish Saga ran a really good race last week off the 7-day backup. The Tenors run at this track twice for a win and a placing, so I think that it'll run well again. Just got to manage, I guess, that barrier draw, because there's a lot of speed draw on the inside barriers to see. It'd be interesting to see if it crosses them or looks to tuck in and get a bit of a sit in behind the speed. But even regardless, I think the form's good enough to run a good race here again, and I think it's travelling well, the horse. So got it in for third. And then in for fourth, I've got number 6, Dazzling Red, for the Sears team, who are absolutely flying at the moment. Nice fourth last time in that Sucks Have Gone race. Was leading on that occasion. So it's supposed to be up on the pace, doing its own thing, and then I think it can run well enough as well. Coming back onto a firm track will probably help its chances. Sorry, when I say coming back onto a firm track, it has been running on good tracks, which obviously is the way this horse likes it. Does not really know a noted wet tracker. So interested to see whether I guess what the weather conditions are like come by tomorrow up there in at Doomben. But look, I've left Orient to run around just because I thought it was just a bit short. $2.70 about a horse who doesn't really win out of turn. It was obviously a decent enough win last time out at the Gold Coast, and the form prior to that was pretty decent. Obviously finishing fourth, the Bold and Wild. That's been a decent enough form race, but just for me, I think that, like I said, it's just a horse that doesn't win out of turn. I mean, you look at its good track form. It's had 24 starts with 2 wins, 13 placings. I think it could be up in the finish, but 270 about a horse that doesn't really win too often is probably just a fraction short for me to be playing. So race number 3, I've got number 1, Right or Wrong, on top for me. Ahead of number 3, I've got it now in for second. In for third, number 9, the Tenor, and in for fourth, number 6, Dazzling Red. Moving on to race number 4 on the program now, and it's a Forex Gold Bill Carter Stakes, and it's for the 2-year-old fillies. Look at the speed map for this race here. Nice big field for this. I'd say Papaya, Bellevue Star, Lisa with a Z, probably up towards the pace, always on show, and Secura Starving Barriers 10 and 11 will probably be up prominent towards the pace as well. Not a stack of speed, but enough to give the back markers probably their chance to come into the race, and I think one of them will be number 4, Panic Cotter. I thought this horse for Mark Newton has been pretty good so far as preparation. A third last start to Makura, like I've mentioned on a couple of times in my previews. I think that Makura form is the elite form, so I'm going to have it on top. Prior to that was a nice win at the Randwick Kensington track, beating Kiku. And so both starts so far have been on a soft track. Its last good track race was at Newcastle in a 900-metre race where it finished fourth on a firm track. But I think this horse will deal with it fine, and looks to get a good run from that barrier draw. And I think $8.50 is just well over the odds about it. So I've got it on top ahead of number 1, Got a Kiss, who's been doing all the right things so far. It was a good win last time out at the $1.90 shot at Doomben. Prior to that, finished third to horse called Isotopia, ran well last week as well in the 2-year-old race. So the form's pretty good around Got a Kiss. 225 is probably a fraction short, but I do consider it's got a very good chance in the race, so it's my second pick. Number 3, Smart and Sexy, is a bit over the odds here, I think, as well. Comes into third for me. Looking at its form last preparation, first up, a second to away game. We know how good away game is. Probably one of the best 2-year-olds to come out of this crop this season. Then a second to Queen K. Then obviously went to the Magic Millions and failed there. Finished last on that occasion. But if we can replicate the form it showed fresh, and obviously the 2 trials leading in showed me this horse is quite wound up and ready to go for this first up performance. It could run a good race here. I think $12 well over the odds about it. So if you want to play, I would definitely be strongly suggesting that. So I've got it in for third, sorry. Then for fourth, number 5, September Run. I was really impressed with its first up performance at Canterbury. I was very keen on it that day. Made one of my best bets of the program, and it saluted really nice. It was a good run in behind the speed. Just got out at the right time and really finished off nicely. Let down with a nice turn of foot. So that's what you like to see with those debut, the foot sort of first up wins. And this horse again that finished fourth behind away game at Randwick. So again, similar form, being around away game, which I think will be strong enough here. Lisa with a Z has a chance here. I thought while it wasn't the strongest maiden win last time out at Doomben, it was impressive, and the time was pretty good as well. So I'll give it a bit of a chance. And Bellevue Star's another one for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott, who the stable are just flying at the moment. So you've got to be following the stable at this stage. It was a fourth last time out to Makura, so very similar to Panic Cotter, similar form. And I mean, looking at it now, I mean, Panic Cotter only finished, what was it? Yeah, just point one of a length in front of Bella Vista, and they're both paying about the same price, which I think is fair enough. I just think Panacotta shouldn't be $8.50 considering it did beat Bella Vista home. Moving on to race number 5 now. It's the Meter v Pam O'Neill Stakes. 3 odd fillies for over 1,600 metres. Looking at the speed map for this one here, I'd say that there'll be decent enough pace here. Shahood, Celestial Falls probably be up towards the pace in the middle barriers. I can probably from barrier number 4. Don't think it'll be on the pace, but it might look to sit in behind a box seat. Joylette, Juliana, Vanna Girl, and Rocha Clock's an interesting one. She went back in the field last match. She might have to do that again from that outside barrier. Look, I'm pretty keen on Vanna Girl here. If as long as we can navigate that outside barrier, I think it'll be well in the race. Be hard to beat. Beat a horse called Super Giant last week, last star, who has obviously since come out and run a group and won a group race. So the form's really good around Vanna Girl, and don't think there's too many in this race that have better form than that for me. So I've got to have it on top. And look, it's a horse that loves running at the tracks. At 2 starts for a win and a placing, 3 starts at the disc for 3 wins. It's been pretty faultless so far. It's only missed the top 2 once from its last. It's only missed the top 2 once so far in its career. So that for me suggests it'll be running a good enough race. $320.50 the place looks a real nice price. So I got it on top ahead of number 1 Rocha Clock, who she was very impressive 2 starts back, beating So Taken. I was on her that day. I went against the last start against Dawn Passage, and she still ran really well. And I think Dawn Passage is the right types of forms. We've seen plenty of form come out of Dawn Passage's races, so I'll be touching on that later on as she goes around a strong race later in the program, one of the feature races. And but yeah, Roger Clock, look, like I said, just has to get, I guess, have the tempo in the race to come from back in the field, where I suggest it's going to have to be from that draw. And but look, she's in good form and she's flying, and I think she'll run well enough here. In for third, number 4, Celestial Falls, been waiting for her to come back out. It's just a bit of a shame for me that she strikes 2 horses that are in great form and running really well. I think she can run a good race. I think the form came out of that Soldier of Love race at Randwick from Celestial Falls' first up performance has been really impressive. But look, I think she'll only improve off that. She gets better the further into her preparation she goes. She was good second up. Second up last time she came out, won an Oaks trial at Flemington beating Gamay. So really nice form there. Her second first up at the Randwick Kensington track subpoenaed last prep. So you're looking at last preparation, and even the one before that, she was around some terrific form lines. She comes into this now. You look at a benchmark 78 last time out, but that was a really strong one, so wouldn't be looking too much into that. So she'll run well, and she's got comes in for third for me. Then as a bit of value, I thought D-Day Diva could run well again here. I gave her a chance to put her on top last start. She ran really well, finished second behind the Sinner at 21 to 1. I thought I was a bit of a chance. She was running home well there, but look, she can run well enough again. I've got her in my numbers again. I think that she'll finish. I think she's behind the top 3 in the market they're in the market, and the top 3 that I've put in my selections. But I think she can run well enough again. She's a horse that's in form, and sometimes those big odds, you just want to go those horses that are in form, similar to Super Giant last week and Ballistic Boy. So look, interesting race. Look, I'm going to go Vanna Gill on top though, ahead of number 1 Rocha Clock. I'm massive fan of Rocha Clock, but I think Vanna Girl's just got the right form over her, and perhaps the time suggests that she can run a good race, and probably the draw just suits Vanna Girl a little bit better than what it does Rocha Clock. But Celestial Falls in for third, in for fourth. I've got number 5 D-Day Diva. Moving on to race number 6 now. I've got the quaddy legs of the program. Race number 6, Channel 7 Hinkler Handicap over a listed race over 1,100 metres. Nice big field here. Looking at the speed map for this one. Interesting one, because I'd suggest that a bit of speed would come out of the inside barriers and the outside barriers. So I'd say Free a Debt. Gin Bit is an interesting one. Still in this race here isn't an emergency at this stage. I'd suggest it'll probably run that earlier race like we already mentioned. But regardless, got to add in the speed map for now. Obviously, we'll take it out if they come out of the race. Tarzan, Emerald Kingdom will be up there. I'd say that Usmanov, Fiery Heights, and Michelin Husband and barriers 16, 17, 18 respectively will be up towards the pace, as well as Boomtown Lass. So a fair bit of pace in this race here, and but it is probably expected for 1,100 metre race. So I guess the back marks will get their chance, but the front markers will probably get their fair opportunity if they don't overdo it either. So in that case, looking for me, I've just got to go with the best form lines. And I think that for number 18, Free Adet's got just that. It's a horse that's won in a while. It's last win was back in January 2019. So looking at a long day, long spell between drinks. But you look at this preparation and the form it's been around has just been real top notch, and comes in a race like this at $9.50 and $3.20. I think it's really, really appealing to me, and comes back on a good track, which I think is what it wants. First up, this preparation came second to a horse called Super Seth, of course, a Group 1 winner. So nice form there. Then went to an Oakley Plate. Finished last on that occasion, but had a few issues there, as noted in the vet report. Then came out as $3 shot and was beaten by Runson at Morphettville. That was 2 starts back in the Matrice Stakes. And then it finished 5th to Zeelong last start in the Tabacluse Stakes, of course, a Group 2 race. And finds itself here in a listed race, down the bottom of the weights, only with 54 on its back. I think it'd be really hard to beat. So it's also going to be one of my best value bets of the program. It looks very hard to beat for me, so I've got it on top. Like I said, it's a horse that doesn't win too often, but I can see that it's got definitely the best form in the race. And from that barrier, should get a nice run into the race as well. So I've got it on top. Ahead of number 10, Emerald Kingdom, I think it bounced back off its first up disappointment. Of course, that run was a couple of weeks ago, and it comes into this now. And look, you look at I have to look back at last preparation. I mean, 5 wins from 5. It's a horse that's got a lot of ability, and it's a horse that loves running at Doomben. It's had 2 starts the track for 2 wins, so it comes back to its favourite track, steps up just that extra 100 metres will suit it better. I just think we can see a bit of improvement. I heard Rob Heathcote speaking about this horse during the week, saying that he's very confident that he will bounce back. So got to have it in for second. I think it's got a good chance each way. Number 15, Boomtown Lass, another one who I think can run well first up here, and paying 17 to 1. I think it's well over the odds. It's a horse that's run at this track for 3 starts for 3 wins. That's exactly what I want to see. Had a really sharp trial beating Showa here at the track back on the 19th of May, and I think that this horse has really wound up for this and could run well. It's got obviously a good fresh record, 4 starts for a win and 3 placings, so very over the odds at the $17. Just has to navigate barrier 15. I think it's got a very good chance. So if you want to be playing each way, I'll be having something on it as well. I think it's got a nice little chance in a race like this. So I've got it in for third. And then in for fourth, I've got number 9, Usmanov, who's been in some decent form. Just has to navigate that wide barrier there. But if it could do so, I think it'll be running a good enough race here. Again, horse has run at the track once for a win. It's good on air conditions. So if you get those soft conditions, I think it'll probably suit it a little bit more than a good track. But it has got form on a good track as well. So it's a horse that at $6 and $2.30, you can probably take it. It is a winner in comparison to some of these, which is what you want sometimes coming to a race like this. But recap the numbers for me. I think number 18 Free Adet. Like I said, if there's a race going to win, this will be the one. $9.50, $3.20 the place. Very good price. Got it on top. At number 11, Emerald Kingdom in for second. In for third, number 15, Boomtown Lasso, who I think is massively over the odds, and I could suggest an each way play. And then in for fourth, number 9, Usmanov. Moving on to race number 7 now, and it's the Forex Droid Chairman's Handicap. Look at the speed map. Group 3 race over 2,000 metres. And I suggest that fair bit of speed in this, actually. There's a lot of these that usually like to roll forward. For a 2,000 metre race, it'll be interesting. I'd say a lot of Creek Gold and Mawani Machine will be up towards the pace from barriers 3 and 4. Ilwendo usually likes to lead. Charo will be prominent enough. I'd say Kubis will be trying to get up towards the pace. Magnified will be trying to find a spot from barrier number 15 as well. So looks to be a decent enough bit of tempo here for this race here, and it might set up nice for some of these back markers. And an interesting one in this race here is Queensland horse, actually, and it comes in this first up, and I think it's got a decent enough chance, and paying good enough odds as well. I mean, looking at 41 to 1, it's number 16 Warnock, who's coming across a mile, and like I said, it's a fair task running first up at 2,000 metres, but this is a horse that has some really good form from back in Ireland and comes here into this race. So I just think that it's just a bit over the odds, and we could see it run a cheeky race. Obviously, it wasn't really asked to do much in its trial at Gold Coast. It was only over 1,000 metres, so you could probably forgive that. These horses don't tend to go too hard in those sharp trials, and just think 41 to 1's a bit over the odds personally, and that's why I've got it on top. I just think that in a race like this, it's really open. It's a horse that I can give a bit of a push to, and I've got just going to sit back, probably more so this race to sit back and watch. Really, if there's something I'm gonna have a play at it probably will be Warnock, just out of that curiosity. I think it'll get better, obviously, the further it goes in its race prep. But look, I'm gonna have it on top. Just think that, like I said, open race, I've got to give it a chance. Number 11, Atana, I think, is well over the odds as well. I could suggest an each way play at it. I'll forgive the 10th last start to on the Sunshine Coast behind Victory 8. Like I said, we'll get a bit of a guide around that form. I've already mentioned in a couple of races prior to this one. But the third to Silvera at the Sunshine Coast, first up, I think it's a real key form, and comes in this now third up to the 2,000 metres, which is much more type of distance range. She won here in the Queensland Carnival last preparation, so won at the Gold Coast back on in January as well. So it's a horse that knows how to win up in Queensland, and I think she'll run well here, 15-1. She's a very nice price. I've got her for second. In for third, number 14, Live and Free. Again, really comes out of some good form race. The second first up behind Amagiri in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup is very nice form for this type of race. And I thought it was okay in the Scone Cup last time out over 1600. It was up towards the pace, which isn't where she usually is. He's usually back in the field and running on. So I'll be think from that outside barrier. That's what Robbie Fratt will do to take, I guess, snag him back towards the rear of the field and look to run on. Looks to be a decent enough tempo to come into the race. And 2,000 metres third up, I think he'll be improving well sharply. So he comes in for third for me. And then in for fourth, number 4, another dollar who was really impressive winning last start at Randwick, beating Il Wendo. And like I said prior to that, comes out with third to Amagiri, so very similar form lines to Live and Free. So another dollar's got a very nice chance as well. Other chance in the race, Boomer Rock stepping out to the 2,000 metres, third up here. I think it improved $13, a bit over the odds about it. And the other horse I think was a bit of an each way value chance. It was actually the favourite, and it was Uwendo. So I just surprised that this horse is favourite, because it was beaten fair and square last night. Like I did mention in my review of that race a couple of weeks ago, where Uwendo finished second, $1. I did say to follow Uwendo, but I just didn't think it would come out next start $4.20. I think that's just a bit short for me. So I was looking elsewhere, and I've played elsewhere as well. So I think number 16, Warnock, is just could be good enough to win a race like this, or at least place. I think $11 a place, a bit over the odds. So just out of a bit of a query, I've got it on top, ahead of number 11, Atana, for second. If for third, I've got number 14, Live and Free, and if for fourth, number 4, another dollar. Moving on to race number 8 now, is the Tab Fred Bet Classic over the 1,350 metres, Group 3 race for the 3-year-olds. Really good race, this one. The main race of the program, of course. Look at the speed map. Ready Babe and Scathing will be up towards the pace. I'd suggest the Odyssey will be trying to get across on that outside barrier. Bellevue Hill will be up there. Stamp will be up there as well. So decent enough pace to give the back markers a chance, but also I think the front markers could be sitting on. But I think the best chances are back in the field. And I think Exhilarates is one of the top chances of the day. She was really terrific last start at the Gold Coast, finished third on that occasion, was finishing off nice behind Hightail. I've been following a lot of the form around Hightail, and it's been really working so far, so I'm not going to drop off now. And comes in this second up, which will be much improved. Has 3 starts second up for a win and 2 placings. And I just think she'll improve here, and comes off a good track last night, is here again. Obviously, look back last preparation, finished third to Alligator Blood in the 3-odd Magic Million, second up last prep. So for me, similar run here. We'll see it run really well. So I think she's a top chance in this type of race. 480 is a really good price, especially $1.80 the place. So definitely be playing her. Number 3, Dawn Passage, goes in for second. Like I mentioned, similarly to Exhilarates, I've been following with the Hightail form, been following a lot of Dawn Passage forms, been working well. She's in good form. She's had 2 good wins last 2 starts, and we'll get a bit of a guideline on her with Roach O'Clock going around early in the program as to how strong that form line is. But look, she's a horse that obviously goes well on any conditions. She's probably marginally better on a soft track. She's had 3 starts for a win and 2 placings. She has had a couple of poor performances on a good track, but she still had won 3 from 5 good track runs, and she's in form. Gets a nice run from that barrier, I believe. At 250 is probably the right price about her, so I've got her for second. For third, number 1, the Odyssey for Keith Shriver and Steph Thornton in the saddle, and be interested to see what Steph can do here. If she can get get the Odyssey across on that outside barrier. If she can do so, I think he'll be running well. He finished second to Hightail last time. Did actually beat Exhilarate's home and is paying $8.50 here. Obviously has to carry a little bit of weight in comparison to Exhilarate's, but you have a look from last start, it isn't much of a weight swing really. Yeah, in fact it's level weight, so I don't really see why there's the big difference in the market. So it's just a bit of an each way play at the Odyssey if you're keen on it, especially if you can get it across that outside barrier. If it drew probably a bit closer, I'd probably give it a really good push to win. If a fourth, sorry, number 13 subpoenaed. Look, a lot of people were disappointed with its run last start, and I thought that he probably needed to. She needed to win last start, but she really got squeezed, and then that was probably her gone. She got the swoopers came into it, really went over the top of her and ducked in towards the rail and cut her off there. But she really got going late through the line, which I was impressed with. And I think she, without being confident she could win, she could definitely place. And 210 the place probably a decent enough bet. I've left Grand Piano out, who's in form, but it's another really good chance in the race. I'll be putting it into quaddies and first fours and the like. So recap the numbers for me. I'm pretty keen on number 12 Exhilarates on top. Ahead of number 3, Dawn Pasture for second. In for third, number 1, The Odyssey. And in for fourth, number 13, Subpoenaed. Moving on to race number 9 of the program, the last race of the card. Fillies and Mares, 1,350 metre race, Tab Helen Collins Stakes. Look at the speed map here. It's so ready to profit and shell. We'll pair it out and find the top bold. Ariel might be not too far off them, but there's not a whole lot of speed in this race here, so some of the back markers probably won't want to get too far back now. I gave Ready to Profit a really good chance last start, obviously, where it finished third at Rose Hill behind Orothea, and it paid 61 to 1 on that occasion. So I was pretty happy having something each way on it for the place there. And I think that I think she could improve again here. She's paying $9 again, not as big a price as last start, which I was surprised she blew out to that type of price, which is why I backed her again. But look, she comes with this. She's going to lead, and very similar to Rose Hill, the way I saw it last time. She's going to lead, and there's not going to be a whole lot of pressure. So coming to this now third up, I think she can be even further improved here, and I think she'll run a good race. So I've got her on top at the $9. So she goes on top for me. Subpoenaed's an interesting one because it is non from this race. If she does run, I've got a very good chance to win this type of race. She's going to be a long way back, which will be the only issue, but if she runs, she's got the class to win this type of race. So if she's in for second. But if not, my second pick will be number 14, Into the Abyss, who I think is just improving on each run. Last start, finished second at Rose Hill behind Orothea. So same form lines as Ready to Profit. Comes in this third up, will be much improved. It's, very similar to Ready to Profit. So it'll be in the finish. So I've got it as a good chance. So that's my second pick. If Subpoenaed is in the race. In for third, number 4, Multaja, who will be back in the field, but I suggest could be running on, will run well enough here. I thought it start two starts back when it ran fresh, a sweet scanner was good. Then it came out, finished 7th behind Lovely Lucy last time out. Just got a long way back. But comes to this third up, I think it'll be much improved. Comes to a track that it has won at before as well, which is a positive. So if Multaj goes in for third. And then in for fourth, number 1, Fiesta, who I was impressed with its first up performance behind Love You Lucy at the Gold Coast. So it's a very similar race to Multaja. And she's a hard one to catch because she hasn't won in a long time, but she is a horse that can often pop up with a bit of a race. So I wouldn't be backing her to win, but I think she can run she'll be a bit of a place chance. So recap the numbers for me. I think number 7, Ready to Profit, has to be on top for me here. Again, just the fact that it will be dictating the terms on the pace. Once again, similar to last starts, can see it being there for a long way, third up. If a second, like I said, if Subpoenaed's not in the race, we're going with number 14, Into the Abyss. In for third, number 4, Multaja. In for fourth, number 1, Fiesta. Now, Tally Bay is an interesting one. She's been a bit disappointing since her first up start, where she finished third behind Vainstream at Caulfield, but she has been in strong races the last 2 starts, of course. She was in the Tab Classic, Robert Sangster 2 starts back, and then last start she was in the Emirates Park Dark Jewel Classic, which is a Fillies Mares Group 3 race. So it finds herself back here into a regular Fillies Mares race, and so she could be winning this. Madame Rouge, similar, out of form, but strike a winnable race here as well for her. So really open race in the last one. I'll be playing quite wide if you're doing quaddies and first fours. Now, recapping the best bets of the program and the best value bets for me, I'm pretty keen in race number 8 as one of my best bets, and number 12 Exhilarates. I think she'll be pretty hard to beat, so she's my one of my best bets. Race number 8, number 13 Exhilarates at the $4. Number 12 Exhilarates at the $4.80 and $1.80 the place. The other one who I'm very keen on comes in. Comes in race number 5, and it's number 2, Vanna Girl, at $3.20. That's my other best bet of the program. Moving on into my best value plays, and look, I'm pretty keen. Obviously, I mentioned it quite early on in the program. Just going back through. Sorry, I'm having all sorts of issues here with my tablet, but we'll get there eventually. It was race number 3, I believe. Yeah, race number 3, number 1, right or wrong, I think is well over the odds of the $10. So I'm going to make it as one of my best value bets of the program. Race 3, number 1, right or wrong at the $10 and $2.30 the place as well. So $2.70 the place, which I think is a nice enough price. And the other horse that I think is a good each way play comes in race number 6. And it is, of course, number 18, Free a Dead at the $9.50. So good luck if you're playing tomorrow. Hopefully you find plenty of winners. Stay tuned. I'll be uploading my Flemington video very shortly. My Caulfield video very shortly. Then, of course, I will promise you that we'll make that Sydney video later on as well. Obviously, I did miss it last week. Apologies for that. I got really tied up with work. Wasn't able to make it home in time to get it recorded and uploaded. So apologies for that. I'll be making sure that I'll be finishing up nicely in time today to be able to get that video up. So good luck if you're playing tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in once again. Like I said, leave your comments down below. Subscribe to me if you haven't already done so. Give this video a bit of a like as well. And go follow me on social media accounts if you haven't already done so to see all my tips for tomorrow as well as every other day of the weekend. CLane_racing tips on Instagram and CLane race tips on Facebook. So thanks for tuning in. Good luck tomorrow and hope you enjoy the terrific racing once again tomorrow.